How good does that look? Sticky glaze, double smoked. Is there anything better? Oh. Hi, I'm Shuey, and in this video I'm going to show you how to glaze a ham using my Fireball whiskey glaze. So just sit back, grab a drink or two, and let's get into it. Nothing looks more impressive in the center of the table during the holiday season than a smoked ham, especially this 5.2 kilogram Borrowdale free-range ham that I picked up from Gippsland Premium Meats. So all we need to do is just get it out of the packaging. Now we need to remove the skin. So all we're going to do, using a sharp knife, we're going to cut around the hock and then just down the sides, making sure not to cut right through the fat and the meat. You'll find with a little help the skin will just peel off. Just get your fingers underneath and you should be able to start peeling it back. This can be a little bit fiddly, so just take your time. A little bit of patience here. Now we need to make it look a little bit fancy, since this is going to be the centerpiece of our table once finished. Using a sharp knife, we're going to make a crisscross pattern in the fat, and each line should be about 20 mil apart, because we want to be creating a nice diamond pattern all over the fat. Be careful, try not to cut right through the fat though. And then what we're going to do is stab a clove in the middle of every diamond pattern we made. And then just place the ham on a tray that's in a baking tray. And I do suggest covering the tray with foil, because this is going to get messy. Today I'm going to be using a 57 centimeter Weber kettle, and I'm going to be pairing it up with the snake method, because I want to be cooking at temperatures of 140 degrees Celsius today. Easy enough to do. We're just going to place a row of briquettes on the outer part of the charcoal ring, and then just add a second row, making sure it is touching that first row. And now we can just add a top row of briquettes. And as you can see, I've made the charcoal snake go pretty much the entire way around the charcoal grate. And I find it's better to have more than not enough. You can also add a foil pan to the bottom of the Weber to help with cleanup. I'm also going to add some smoking wood, and cherry's the flavour for today. We're just going to place it on top of the snake, leaving a 50 mil gap in between each piece. Lastly, you want to light up 12 briquettes, and once they're fully ashed over, we're going to dump them into the Weber. We'll also put the grill in place. I'll also put an ambient temp probe on the grill, and I'll put the lid on, making sure all the vents are wide open. We're going to allow that temp to rise. And as we get closer to our target temp, we're going to close down our bowl vent. This would be a great time to subscribe to the channel, and while you're there, hit that bell button. That bell button is going to allow you to be notified every time I upload new videos. The Weber's at temp now, so all we want to do is brush on some orange juice to start the caramelization on this ham. So now we just need to lift the tray up, and we're going to put the ham in, keeping it on the opposite side of the fuel, and we're going to insert the internal temp probe away from the bone and set that for 54 degrees Celsius. And put the lid back on, making sure that lid vent is over our food. Once our internal temp hits 54 degrees Celsius, we're going to start glazing this ham. Now we covered the tray with foil to help with cleanup. Tip the juice out, take the foil off, put it back in the cupboard, and your missus won't know you used it. Most hams are going to take 3 to 4 hours.
This video clip's going to take 3 to 4 hours.
Stop it. Today I'm cooking with an indirect heat of 140 degrees Celsius. Most hams take anywhere between 3 to 4 hours to reach a food safe temp of 60 degrees Celsius. Or for those of you who like to use my beer timer, you're looking at an 8 beer cook. Smoked ham and beer, you're welcome. Making a glaze up for the ham couldn't be any easier. We need some sugar for caramelization, and we need some flavor. So into a saucepan, we want to add some orange juice, some orange marmalade, a dash of maple syrup, Dijon mustard, or not, dried rosemary that I ground up, some cinnamon, a bit of nutmeg, and some brown sugar. Stir this over a low to medium heat. Now just stir this over a lot. Stop, I'm watching you and you try.
It'll be dissolved by now.
Stir this over a low to medium heat until the marmalade and the sugar's all dissolved. This usually takes a few minutes. Once it's all dissolved, we're going to turn up the heat a little bit and let it simmer for 15 minutes so it thickens up. And once it's all thickened up, we can add the Fireball whiskey. to the pan, not you. Now all you have to do is cook that alcohol off for a couple of minutes. Now don't forget, we have to give Santa's little helper some whiskey too. There you go, Santa's little helper.
Thank you.
The ham's internal temp has reached 54 degrees Celsius, so it's time to glaze. Now, what I do suggest is straining the glaze. It just gets all those chunky bits of the rosemary and any of the marmalade that sort of won't render down. The reason we wait until the end of the cook to put the glaze on, because if we put it on at the start, sugar will burn. You'll see when I lift the lid, it's already going to have a nice dark color from that orange juice or the sugar in the orange juice. Now just using a silicone brush, because the silicone actually will hold more glaze in it, and you just want to get a good coating over the entire ham. And we're just going to put the lid back on, and we're going to set the internal temp probe to 60 degrees Celsius now, and about every 15 minutes we'll lift that lid and give it another glazing until it's ready. I know it's late in this video, but surely you liked it by now. Well, look at that. The ham is now ready. Time to get it off the Weber. Wow, look at that. That smells absolutely incredible. So I like to wrap something around the hock. It just makes it easier to hold onto when slicing, and I'll just hold it in place with a grill pin. So now all we need to do is just slice it. Oh, look at that. How good does that look? Double smoked ham with a whiskey glaze. It's that good, it should be illegal. As always, cheers for watching.